Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jersey Shore podcast. That's SURE because we are always sure. We're coming to you live from First Amendment Live Studios, and we have a very special, and brought to you by the American Pulse Network. We have a very special guest coming up today, Justin Barbera, who is a gubernatorial candidate for the state of New Jersey. We're going to go into some interviewing with him and find out why he's running, what he's about, and what his passion for politics is. Justin, he gave me a little bit about himself. We just met not too long ago. Seems like a great guy. I talked to a lot of people about him, and I heard some of the speeches that he gave, and he seems like he's on the same page of the American people. He seems like a regular guy that just wants to do good. So I'm not going to go deep into it, but I know he had a mother who proudly served for 26 years in the military, retiring as a senior master sergeant. And he credits his mother and his loving grandparents and his attendance to Fort Union Military Academy in Virginia with the resolve that would push him through some very tough times. But I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let him explain it. So we're going to just go into segment one, and then we're going to bring him on.
Fighters take the stand from shore to shore. We reclaim the land, grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
All right, bring him in now.
Hello, New Jersey. It's a pleasure to be in front of you.
Hey, Justin, how you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Damon, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be in front of New Jersey.
Absolutely. So, we'll get before we get into any questions. If you want to just elaborate in the background, how you got to where you're at, what made you decide to run for governor?
Absolutely, Damon. I'm fed up with politics and the way New Jersey's been running for a very long time, and that issue in the nation and the divide between both parties has brought me into the politic world. Whether it be our children being improperly educated or our people being fed processed food at every level and every location, it needs to change. We need to have better everything really in New Jersey. There's no one thing that New Jersey's flourishing with. We have problems all the way around. So as a contractor, as a father, I see some change that needs to happen, and I'm willing to make that change as the governor of New Jersey.
Okay, well, it takes a lot of guts to throw your hat in the ring, man. It does. So, and to go through the scrutiny and being, I would say, the underdog in this race, it takes a lot of guts to put up that fight. So, it inspires a lot of people, I would say. The people that I've heard talk about you are inspired about it. So
that's a byproduct that I'm proud to be a part of. Having politics in more places is a better thing. We're able to talk about ways to solve our problems instead of brushing it under the carpet. If more people are motivated to be leaders of our community and politicians, that's a bright spot, and I'm proud to support that. And people can look to me as an everyday guy that wants change, and he's willing to make the change.
That's good stuff. All right, so we're going to go into our first segment of questions. This one is on current events and state issues. So tell me about your background before politics. And we kind of touched on that already, but have you ever been involved or held office before?
I've not held office yet before. I've been a business owner for 20 years. I'm specialized in insurance companies and insurance claims. So being a supporter of the homeowner as a general contractor, insurance, fire, water, wind damage claims, I've represented the homeowner and saw firsthand many different ways that the insurance companies have the stronghold on our state and in not only the homeowner claims, but also in the automobile and the medical field as well. We're being victimized by the insurance companies. There's legislation in place that does not benefit the people of New Jersey. That legislation needs to change. That would be something I would push to make sure that we're number one, and the legislation favors New Jersey residents instead of the insurance companies.
Yeah, well, I mean, for instance, like being auto insurance, say it is up 55%. I mean, it doubled for most people. So what would you do? What would your plans be to try to stop that? You being insurance and knowing having the knowledge on that, how would you go about that? The past legislation for that.
We need more competitiveness in the insurance fields. We need to have more incentives for insurance companies to come to New Jersey. We need to have better rates. I would push legislation to enact those measures so we're having more of a competitive balance here in New Jersey with more insurance companies motivated to come to New Jersey. We have the highest population. We can offer the most amount of uh, person per capita than anywhere else in the country.
Okay. All right. All right. So next question I got for you. Um, Many Americans feel that the media often promotes divisive narratives. How would your administration work to ensure fair and transparent communication to combat misinformation and restore trust in government?
Our media is very compromised at this point that the only real true media that we get is through podcasters. I would celebrate the podcasters. They're getting us the truth. There are assets really. The technology has made it that it has exposed the lies and the manipulation of the media, and Donald Trump, our president. He's also called he's called it out to attention that fake news is all around us. It's been around us, and we need to circumvent that. We need to promote the podcaster. I would promote the podcasting. I would make sure that we have podcasters at uh, at the governor's house, the governor's mansion, and allow the podcasters to have full access to our media.
I mean, obviously for me, I think that's a great idea, podcaster. But yeah, Trump started that, and he wanted the new media, and I I agree with you there that podcasts are the new media. They're not bought, they're not sold. I mean, we just found out Doge, all the money that was going to taxpayer dollars going to Politico, going to different news networks. So they were basically paying them off. So but having unbought media, I think will be the best thing. And I'm hearing that that's what you're saying as well.
Absolutely. We want to have the Doge come to New Jersey. I will support Donald Trump's initiative to have Doge investigate New Jersey because New Jersey has a whole lot of corrupted politics, and our people are being victimized from the corruption. That needs to be exposed. I will support Mr. Trump in bringing Doge to New Jersey.
No, that would be a great thing. And speaking of Trump, I mean, talking about news and transparency, do you think this is the most transparent administration that you've ever seen?
Yes, with the advent of the internet, this is the most transparent presidency that we have to date, with the exception of number 45, his first Donald Trump's first term. He was very transparent in that campaign and presidency. But we'll see more transparency because he's going to release a lot more of the intel that was suppressed over the decades, and he's going to allow the American people to really understand what happened in our past. Our our history becomes our future, so we need to know our history and we need to know where we came from, so we can learn to be better in the future.
That's a good point. So leads me into something else to ask you. Uh, how do you feel about a lot of people want to tear down our history and tear down statues and that went on in the past, like removing history? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so that's a great. We need to hold on to our history. Our history, it speaks to where we've been. It shows the mentality and the places America has, um, what has happened in the past. And our history books need to have the truth written into them. They need to really be gone through. We need to make sure we're teaching our children the truth. The truth needs to be revealed, and and that's an initiative on the educational level that we'll be able to to really enrich our students and let them learn the facts about history instead of a biased, politically driven narrative.
No, that's a good point because I know a lot of people always tell me that if you erase history, it's bound to repeat itself. You have to learn from the mistakes that we've made in the past. So it's a good thing. And it leads segues right into my next question: education and system reform. New Jersey schools are facing criticism for allegedly promoting partisan ideologies. How would you balance preserving academic freedom while ensuring that schools focus on education rather than indoctrination?
Yes, it looks to be that the educational system, since it was federalized in 1979 and we have been on the decline, it has ousted the the Red Party and promoted and celebrated the left wing agendas. Um, I would curtail our educational system to focus on the facts, make it driven on the principles of education, which are reading, writing, and arithmetic. Uh, I would focus on the fundamentals of the math, so they're not using the calculator to take control of their work. They need to understand how the formulas work, and they need to make sure they can work out the formula without the calculator.
No, you're right. And I'll tell you this: when I was in school, I used to tell my teachers all the time, "When am I ever going to use this?" And I'm in construction. You are as well. How much do you use math in your business?
Well, I mean, we need math. It's all around us. We need to be very fast with our math, and we need to understand how to get uh, formulas solved in our day to day. But just as important as the math is the reading. We need to be able to read at a fast pace and absorb the information that we're reading. The most important thing is to absorb it and apply it, uh, because that gives us our wisdom. If we're able to take information from the past and relate it to our current situation, uh, we could make our future much brighter.
Okay. All right. I want to get it's a very big topic for a lot of people throughout the country, especially Republicans. This one's on Second Amendment rights. With the rise in safety concerns and crime, where do you stand on protecting the Second Amendment in New Jersey, especially in light of restrictive gun laws in the state? Do you think that it is in every law-abiding citizen should have the right to carry concealed?
I absolutely agree with that. And I further would promote, as the governor of New Jersey, the gun show back in New Jersey. We need to have guns that are ready. We need guns and good priced guns available to us. We shouldn't have to go out of state or ship pieces of guns. We need to have gun shows where we can buy guns. We need to be able to protect ourselves from the invader, the intruder. Um, we also need to educate our children from toddlers all the way up until early adulthood. They need to understand that bullets and guns are dangerous and to stay away from as toddlers. And of course, if we can educate our 17-year-old, 18-year-old on how to clean a gun, break down a gun, we're going to get them ready for the military. Where I believe we need to support our military. We need to make sure our military is always it always has the best Americans in it.
Yeah. So speaking of military, what do you think about Pete Hegseth? Since he was nominated and got in, our military is at the highest recruitment rate since 2015. What's that say about what the change was there?
Well, it's obvious, and I see it in my day to day. I see more young men wanting to join the military because of Donald Trump. And I believe that's because Donald Trump understands the value of human life. That's why Zelensky was told what he was told in the White House just the other day. Donald Trump does not want war, but he wants to make sure our military is very well supported. So I'm against war as well. Our lives are very valuable at every level, and we need to protect that. So Zelensky's wrong. He needs to look for peace.
Yeah, I know. I saw that exchange back and forth with them, and I believe, and a lot of people I've spoken to believe that Zelensky overstepped. He was looking for too much, and basically Trump was actually the adult in the room. He let it go on for about 40 minutes before it ramped up, and then that's when it broke down after that. Like Zelensky wanted, uh, he wanted protection, like signed protection, saying that you're going to protect this country. I want to sign a deal for that, and I think that I mean, you let me know what you think. Uh, Basically, Trump was giving
Yeah,
the answer, saying if we get the mineral deal, we'll have people over there, Americans, mining minerals. So if Russia fires a shot, across the border and endangers Americans, that's your protection. That's your deal. I don't know if he understood that. What do you think about that?
it's a very wise strategy because Russia would know that endangering American lives could lead to war. So that would prevent him from taking further action on Ukraine. Furthermore, when you're addressing the president, you should be wearing the appropriate attire. So his whole approach to that meeting it showed where his mentality is.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Trump called him out as soon as he got out of the car. I mean, you should show the Oval Office a little bit of respect. I understand he's wearing his war outfit and everything like that, and that's the way he wants to look for his people. But when you're going to make a deal with the president of the United States, you're going to the highest office of the world. You should come dressed appropriately. At least in the way that everyone else is. So that's my thoughts. I mean, I know how you think that way as well. So I want to go into next question. Economic economic recovery. Like many small businesses in New Jersey are still struggling after the Biden administration's policies. What specific policies would you introduce to support them and revitalize the state's economy?
First and foremost, the salt tax in New Jersey is not favoring New Jersey residents. For every dollar we pay to the state and local taxes, we get 60 cents back on that dollar. Some states get up to $4 back on each dollar. So we're being slighted on that. And to put a cap on the deductions that we can de- deduct against those taxes is absurd. I would either remove the cap or triple the cap for each household. We need to be able to save as much money in New Jersey as possible.
So, okay, and I follow up on that too. When it comes to taxes, we're one of the highest tax states in the country. Property taxes, everything. Uh, we're the only state that I know of that has an exit tax. You want to sell your house and go move to another state, you have to pay a tax to leave. I always make the joke that the bridges, all the tolls are on Jersey side. So every time you want to leave New Jersey, that's when you pay the toll. But what would you do to try to combat property taxes, because they are going up? I know mine are, yours probably are. Uh, what would you do to try to solve that problem and try to bring something in to subsidize the increased taxes?
So I know Donald Trump had mentioned removing the property tax. That is a great idea. I'd love to be a part of that. I'm not sure how he's able to implement that, but I would support any taxes that would be removed from our property taxes. I'd like to see anybody that's over 65 and with no children have their property taxes heavily reduced, especially in regards to the school system, because they don't have children in the school system. They shouldn't be paying that high of a tax.
So yeah, you're right. So what about taxes on pensions? New Jersey is one of the only states that taxes pensions as well. Not many states do that. I think there might be one other that actually, when you retire, they tax your pension. Um, no, I am in the union. I'm in construction. I know you're in construction. I'm going to have a pension like that. What would your ideas be to try to work that out, subsidize that?
There's no reason we should have our pensions taxed here in New Jersey. When we retire, we're not we're not able to earn as much money as we earned when we were working and in our prime. So to have our pensions, which are not 100% of our income we're in our prime, to be taxed is really, it's hurting America. It's hurting New Jersey especially. So removing a pension tax would be a very sound measure to put more money in New Jersey's pocket.
So, all right. So here's a go one for you. Curious what you think about this. Like New Jersey being a sanctuary state under the Immigrant Trust Directive. Are you for state and local police to be involved in ICE raids?
Absolutely.
So,
I would like to. I'd like our every form of our government in the policing fields need to support the ICE detectives, the ICE sheriffs. We need to support them in their stings, in their intelligence. We need to also give them access to any of our facilities and our equipment so they can make proper stings. And if they need jail space, allow that for them at all times. We need to be able to collect any illegal immigrant and store and house them in a humane manner before they get deported.
okay. All right. Well, let's go to our next segment. So we'll take a real quick break and go to our next segment.
Fighters take the stand from shore to shore. We reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand.
What's that noise?
Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
My music.
Here's coming up.
All right, welcome back, guys.
Buy it
welcome
today.
to the next segment.
Come on.
Mm.
There you go.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome to the next segment. This is going to be on broader national.
From the mind of
So
Brian
thanks
O'Callaghan.
for staying with me, Justin. I don't know what's going on here. Something keeps happening. What happened? Okay, so Justin, if you're still there, we'll get right back to you in a second. So we're going to go on to the broader national issues. We're going to talk about federal overreach. Oh, there we go. Got it back. There you go, Justin. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So this question in this segment, it's about federal overreach. Like, how would you stand up to federal mandates that you feel infringe upon New Jersey's sovereignty, such as those related to the old COVID-19 restrictions or environmental regulations?
Yeah, so I'm an anti-vaxxer. I want to make sure that our New Jersey residents are not forced to take a vaccination or anything similar to a federal mandate. We are free here in New Jersey, and we need to stay free. We don't need to be threatened by initiatives like that. And we need to really support. I will support getting the people that lost their jobs in the police, in the medical fields, in the schools. I will support them and get them back to work immediately once I'm in office.
Okay, great. All right, let's go into election integrity. Now, election integrity is a hot button issue nationwide. What changes would you advocate for to ensure free and fair elections in New Jersey?
Well, the last election has been really a mess. It was really appalling to see some people waiting in line till 3 a.m. After the presidential after the president was already announced. There's no way we should have our residents standing in line for that much time. It's a safety concern, and our elderly, to have them stand up for that kind of time is just, it's not respecting our people. It's fundamentally wrong. We need to make sure. So I will make sure that every polling station has enough power, generator backup, enough ballot taking machines to collect the votes of the people. Furthermore, mail-in ballots need to be only used when it's vital because of the health of the voter. We should be able to protect our ballots more than we're doing now, because there's a lot of corruption when it comes to our ballots. We need to have armed guards at least making sure these ballots are getting to the final destination without being thrown in the trash.
Yeah, and as you know, you're familiar with Scott Pressler. We have him working in New Jersey right now. All the work that he did in PA to flip that for Trump. So he's working in New Jersey. Have you had a chance to meet him?
I met Scott, and he's a great asset to this state, and it's an honor to have him here in New Jersey. He left CPAC to come to New Jersey to make sure that all our residents are voting. That teaching them how to fill out the voter registration form is critical, and it's fundamental to getting more people to the ballot. Right now, we have 30% of Americans voting, and that's the lowest in a developed nation. We need more guys like Scott Pressler around the nation supporting our election system. It is the best system in the world, and it is our freedom.
Absolutely. So, with your campaign, do you have any ideas of how to get people out to vote for you? Because being somebody like an underdog like I was, I came up with a few ideas here and there. Like, what do you have? Like, you got a diamond in the rough? You're going to come out there and pound the streets? Or what do you got going on?
I'm not under any delusion. I understand I am the underdog. A lot of the other campaigns have a lot more funding and a lot more experience running as a politician. But I feel that as a regular, everyday father of three and a hardworking man, I resonate with most New Jerseyans. I have been through some medical issues. I know what it is to not be able to make ends meet at times. I feel the gripes of New Jersey. I am out every day shaking hands and listening to the concerns of New Jersey residents. We need that type of candidate to become governor, because with a governor that understands our true issues, we can make change immediately.
Correct. Well, my Philadelphia Eagles were underdogs first time they won the Super Bowl big time, and they pulled it out. They just pulled it out again. Yeah, go Birds. That's right. So, next question. I'll roll this one. It's about Marxist ideals and policies. So, your Democratic opponents may support policies that some critics label as Marxist or socialist. How would you counter these policies and protect New Jersey's Judeo-Christian and capitalist principles?
As a Christian, I make sure that every decision I make gets run up the chain to our King, Jesus. We were founded on Judeo-Christian principles, and we need to make sure that they are upheld here in New Jersey, because the rest of the nation follows what New Jersey does since our population is so dense. We need the moral fabric brought into New Jersey, and we need to show the rest of the nation New Jersey stands for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay. What would it take me on some of your Democratic opponents that want to go down the Marxist socialist road and abandon capitalism, which in my mind, is what made this country so great?
The small business in the United States makes up the majority of the revenues generated in America. We celebrate and support small business mom and pops, and we need to make sure that they have every opportunity to thrive instead of these big corporate conglomerates that are globally operated.
Okay. Well, when we mentioned big corporate conglomerates, the way our system is based on capitalism, like say somebody like Elon Musk, say when he didn't start out as a rich guy, but he's way smarter than I am and has the ability to create things that I can't. But he built a huge company, and when I understand there's corporate greed out there, and they cheat the small people. And I think starting off mom and pop businesses are very great for communities. I believe that. But once you get to a big corporation that isn't filled with greed, what are your thoughts on how that trickles down to the everyday worker? As long as they're not ripping people off, if you know what I mean. If they're just a solid company that gets big, they work their butt off, they got rich, they took the initiative, they took the risk, and they wound up succeeding. How do you feel, about that? About the amount of jobs created, more like free market than free trade.
So the big businesses are able to give us a lot of positions of employment, and that's fantastic. We need to make sure that those positions are protected by union organization and representation. We need to make sure that they're getting paid a fair wage, that they have proper pay for overtime and holidays. We also need to make sure that when they incorporate automation, that is when they have a robot or anything like a robot that would eliminate a worker that would normally pay into a social security, which is heavily depleted. We need to make sure that that robot is now paying in for that lost worker's job to our social security.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. I mean,
I know the Democrats would like that idea.
yeah, for sure, because they probably would. And the fact that you're a Republican and you're talking about unions, that kind of it goes against the grain. Went against the grain with my union. I'm a Republican. I'm union, and my business agents, they weren't happy with me being a Republican. But it seems like there's a big switch on what party represents the working man now. What do you think?
Well, more ideas like that we could draw both sides together, we have a better chance of making New Jersey great again.
Okay. All right. So we'll go into our next segment. We're going to play a real quick ad and go into our next
From the
segment.
mind of Brian O'Callahan.
Amazon.com.
Enter the dark world of betrayal, kidnapping, and human trafficking. Verified readers call Bone Deep Blues powerful and engaging, gripping, well-written, exciting.
Buy it today at Amazon.com.
A must heart-pounding read.
Amazon verified reviews say it's a super storyline, excellent, thrilling.
Experience the magic. Order now from Amazon.com. Choose from digital, paperback, or hardcover editions.
Fighters take the stand from shore to shore. We reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
All right, we're back up.
Buy it
Hello,
today
everybody.
at Amazon.com.
So we're going to move in.
Enter the dark world of betrayal, kidnapping, and human trafficking. Verified.
Okay, I think we're back up. Again, technical difficulties here. So when we get Justin back on, we'll continue with segment 3. But that ad that you saw, that was Bone Deep Blues. That's a book written by Brian O'Callahan. He's a retired detective from New Jersey, and it's a pretty good book so far. And I promised I would read it. And I like I said, I am halfway through it. I haven't read more of it since last show. I'm going to be honest, but my wife is done, and so it's very good. A lot of twists and turns in it. It's really good. It's got a 4.8 out of 5-star rating, and it's pretty good. And he's local, so we got to support our local guys, everyone out there. So when we get Justin back on, we'll continue the interview, because the next we're going to talk about his campaign and personal vision when he gets back on. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for him, we were talking about the whole thing with Zelensky earlier and what happened in the between President Trump and JD Vance. And what happened was Zelensky came in, he was looking for a different deal. And that's the thing. He wanted to come in and he was supposed to go there and just sign. And Trump was the adult in the room the entire time. First time, not the first time, but a lot of people say he's not the adult. He sat there and took it for 40 minutes before Zelensky just kept pushing him and changed the deal over and over again. And then it got to a point where Vance kind of threw a little grenade in the mix, which whether or not was good or not, it was he threw a grenade at Trump and he threw a grenade at Zelensky. And throwing a grenade at Trump was basically saying, how dare you come in this office and disrespect this administration? How about you say thank you? And then the grenade that he threw was, you campaigned against one of our opponents in Pennsylvania, for Kamala Harris, Pennsylvania. So Trump hates that. That the fact that Zelensky did that, and they're not really friends to begin with. So as soon as Vance threw that grenade out there, then Trump just boom. That's like putting a red flag in front of a bull, and Trump just saw red. And he already had enough. I couldn't believe Trump kept his composure for that long. And then on top of that, I know Vance doesn't really get along with Zelensky as well, and the exchange going back and forth. I mean, I personally believe that it was expected in some sort for Zelensky to put up a fight. That's why they had it on global television. It kind of looked like an episode of Celebrity Apprentice. And Trump, he does the art of the deal, and he is an entertainer, and he knows how to make things work. But so I thought some of it was kind of pre-staged, but I didn't think it was going to get to that point. But in my opinion, I think by the end of next week, that there will be a deal made between Trump, Zelensky, and Putin. And everyone says that, Trump is Putin's puppet and everything else. The thing is, Trump doesn't have to, he's not bowing down to Putin. What's he going to do? What's he going to go out there and trash Putin? And just like Zelensky said, he's a killer, he's a murderer, he's this, he's that. Everyone knows that. But Trump is there brokering the deal. So he's not going to go out there and trash Putin and just go after him and say, yeah, you're right, he is a murderer, he's this. No, he's trying to bring him to the table. It's not like he likes the guy. I mean, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But it's not showing that he likes the guy. He's trying to broker a deal. He's trying to broker a deal to end the war, to stop the lives from being lost, stop the bullets from flying, as he said. And he said it multiple times. He said, I just want to end the war. And he's looking for a deal to recoup some of our taxpayer dollars back that we funded Ukraine. And I get it. Should we help out other countries if we have the means to do so? Sure. But I said it before and I'll say it again. You can't help other people if you can't help yourself. You can stretch it a little bit, just try to help them out as much as you possibly can, but there's no open checkbook. So there has to be an end to the war because too much money is being spent, too many lives are being lost. So the only off ramp, and Zelensky knows, Henry Kissinger said it in 2022 before he died. He said there's only one off ramp to this war. He said Donbass and Crimea are going to have to give it up, and they're going to have to make a deal to stop Russia from getting to Kiev and taking over all Ukraine. That's the only off ramp, and he was right. That's the only off ramp, and Zelensky knows it. And the fact that he went too hard there, I don't know. Like I said, I think it was kind of set up that way because Zelensky has to show some force, for his people. He can't just go in there and bow down, sign the deal, and then it goes back to his people, and they look at him and say, I lost my brother, I lost my father, and we just lost 2 territories, and you just went and signed this deal. See, Zelensky has to put up a fight and show some strength. I didn't know it was going to go that far. He should have ended it. He should have showed a little bit of strength on the global stage, in the media, and then it should have ended. But then Vance threw the grenade in there, and it kept going on. They should have ended it right there and said, "Okay, let's go behind closed doors, and then we'll finish the conversation." But he really did throw two grenades out there. One at Zelensky, and I say one at Trump because when I say not in a bad way, but he put something out there. But Trump just sat there. He was calm, cool, collected, trying to make that deal. And then when Vance said that about campaigning in Pennsylvania for the opposition, Trump was just like, here we go. And Trump just let it out right after that. And that's what happened. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I really do think that there will be a deal made by the end of next week. I believe so, but time will tell. But other than that, I want to talk about some local news here. You know, we got the gubernatorial race coming. We have Bill Spadia, we have Jack Giroux, we have Justin Barbera, we have Jack Bramnick, and there's multiple. We have a ton of people running for Republican office here. I think there's 9 total. So there's a couple of front runners that are probably going to make it, but there's just underdogs like Justin. And don't ever shake off an underdog. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, Senator Ed Durr did it when he beat Sweeney a few years ago for state senate. So you never know what's going to happen. But the most important thing is to get out there and vote. You have, if Trump lost this state by 5 points, I think last election he lost it by 20. So he gained 15 points in 4 years. So if we get people out there, you talk to your coworkers, and it doesn't have to be about Trump. I mean, there's people that are right in line with what Trump is doing. They're right into the middle. They're right in the middle, and they just can't stand Trump for whatever reason. They have Trump derangements in them. So don't talk about Trump. Get them to vote for a Republican governor. Pick the right one for the primary, and then after the primary, get your coworkers out there and get them to vote for Republican governor. Look at what the Democrats do. Look at what Phil Murphy has done. I mean, when I asked Justin earlier, this is, we're a sanctuary state, and the police and the local police and state police are not allowed to work with ICE under that law. So they can't even do it if they wanted to. So that's why I wanted to ask him that question. Would he support that and change that law? So I don't know how it works, if you had to remove it as a sanctuary state or change. It could be, no, you probably have to just remove it as a sanctuary state. There should be no sanctuary states or sanctuary cities at all. If you're here illegal, you're here illegal. It means you broke the law, crossing the border. But if you're here illegal, breaking the law by crossing the border, and then you break the law while you're here, they're the ones they're going after first. And I agree. Tom Homan said that's what he's going to do. And he even said it. There are going to be some people that are casualties, not casualties of deportation is what I mean. So if there's a grandmother there that's illegal, and there's a illegal alien living with her, and they go and raid the house, she's going to go too. I mean, what are they going to do? Leave the grandmother? She's here illegally, so she's going to have to go as well. So it's not our fault. Is it sad? Yeah, but you shouldn't have been here illegally to begin with. And a lot of them have been here for 30 years. Like, what have you been doing for 30 years? Why do you try to become a citizen? I don't understand why you wouldn't go through that process and try. I know it takes a long time, but if you're here 30 years and you still didn't apply, then I'm sorry. That's, you have to go. And especially if you're living with a criminal. So I know there's some sad situations that happen, and the mainstream media, Democrats are spurring it, spin the heck out of it, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, it was a 7-year-old grandmother that got deported." Well, yeah, her 25-year-old grandson, stabbed somebody. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I just, I don't know. This world just this country seems to be backwards sometimes. The governor of no, the mayor of is it Boston? I believe. I believe it is, but I forget her name offhand. I was looking at her earlier. There was a couple that were getting chased by a man with a knife, and he was trying to kill them. So they were running down the street. They run into a Chick-fil-A, and the guy tries to stab them. I don't know the whole story behind it. It's not out yet, but I know that the guy was trying to stab the couple that ran into Chick-fil-A, and there was an off-duty cop there. And the off-duty cop pulled his gun and told the man to drop the knife, and he didn't. And he lunged him, and he shot the man, and he died. And the mayor goes on national television and apologizes to the victim's family, to the assault, and called him a victim. He's not the victim. He's silent. Like he was trying to stab somebody, and she put her condolences out for him that he died, and I'm sorry, so sorry to your family. Well, no, sorry, I'm not with that. Like he tried to stab people in the Chick-fil-A, and the cop gave him a warning to put the knife down, and he got shot. If you don't want to die, then don't try to stab people. I mean, it's that simple. That's what so that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I mean, that's how out there people are. I just can't believe it. I don't understand the way people look at things, and I don't know if it's on purpose or if they're that demented. But who elects these people? So we need to get back out there and elect the right people in, the people that have common sense. You know, looking at like Justin and other people. Oh, we got him back. So, all right, Justin, welcome back.
Sorry about that, Daniel.
Well, no problem. No problem. I just was talking about I forget the mayor's name. It was the mayor that had the all white, no whites dinner. You know, like there was no whites allowed at the dinner. And I think she's mayor of Boston. I don't know if you heard the story. This guy was trying to stab this couple, and they were running down the street, and they ran into a Chick-fil-A. And they go into Chick-fil-A, and the guy's coming after them with a knife, and an off-duty cop was there, and he goes to stab him, and he pulls his gun, and he says, drop the knife, you know, and the guy didn't care. He just went to go stab him, and he shoots and kills him. So the mayor goes on national television and says, I feel my heart goes out to the family of the victim, and she's calling the victim the guy that tried to stab someone. Not the people that are running for their lives scared that someone's trying to stab them. You know, and that's how backwards things are. Now, I mean, not everything. I mean, 77 million people aren't backwards, so they voted for Trump. You know, so, but there's still the ones out there that still stick by their guns, and that's fine with me, with Democrats. Keep doubling down, and you're never going to win. We'll have like I said last week, we had a red wave, you're going to have a red tsunami. So.
I'm very hopeful that New Jersey does turn red. New Jersey's a very pragmatic state. They tend to vote for, at least for the governor, that whatever governor they believe is going to do the most for them. So we tend to switch back and forth, pragmatic, because we want to make sure we're getting the most money in our pocket and the best resources available. And unfortunately, New Jersey is not getting that right now. We're being abused. With me, we will stop being abused because I see past the insurance companies. I see past the immigrants. I want to make sure our families and our children are well protected in the years to come.
All right. Well, good. So we were just about to get into the third segment on your campaign and personal vision. So number one, I just wanted to ask you first, like handling political weaponization. You know, how do you feel about that? I know it was bad during Trump's campaign, they tried to bankrupt him, they tried to put him in jail, they tried to kill him, you know. But now he has different cabinet members. How do you think it's going to change? You know, going forward with Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, all the cabinet members that he has in place.
I hope that they get to the bottom of the weaponizing of the politics. because right here in New Jersey, on this exact race, they are weaponizing the legislation. Currently, they passed several weeks ago. They've adjusted the signature count for the gubernatorial race from 1,000. Instead of having 1,000, which they started with in January, now they decided to up it with the legislatures and also being approved by our terrible Governor Murphy. Now it's 2,500 signatures and with the same timeline. They didn't extend our deadline. So their plans, unconstitutional as it be, are to eliminate the common man, the everyday man that actually has our best interests in mind, instead of the corporate conglomerates. Uh, they want to eliminate us, and that needs to be brought to attention. And we need justice served on this campaign specifically. There's an exact law that they broke called ex post facto. That is a law from the Constitution that says you can't go back in time and persecute or impose a law that was legal.
So yeah, so this was law, and they changed it how many weeks ago?
It was about 4 weeks ago.
And this is in the middle of everybody already had their hat in the ring, going out getting their signatures, and then Murphy just changed the law.
Yeah,
Wow.
we had our timeline already figured out. We understood how many votes we needed to get, and we pressed on with that. Now, meeting with other candidates, it's a struggle. There's a big issue with this, and we're not going to get our best candidates. We're not going to get a field of candidates that is legitimately the public voice. We're only going to get, if they don't repeal that decision with Governor Murphy, then we're not going to have a race of candidates with the diversity that we need.
So, say 4 weeks ago, you had 12. Say, I'm throwing it out there. Say you had 1,200 signatures 4 weeks ago. Then they just automatically doubled it. You had to run out in 4 weeks. You have to find 1,300 more signatures. And what's the deadline?
The deadline is March 24th. And you have to exceed the 2,500 now, because there's going to be a challenge, which means you need some additional signatures. So it's in reality 3,500.
Yeah, you're right about that. I know you always want to get extra because you never know. Someone's going to challenge your signatures. They're going to go through it, and they'll knock signatures off. So yeah, you're right. 3,500 to be safe. That's a lot. So. All right. So we'll go to the next question. Standing out in the race, what makes you the best Republican candidate to take on the Democratic establishment in I would say, almost purple state like New Jersey?
So when I entered the politic field, I entered as an independent. I always voted as a conservative, but I ran as an independent, and I quickly understood that we will never elect an independent. The last independent president was George Washington. So I had to join the party that aligns with me the best, and that is the Republican Party.
Okay. All right. So let's go with your let's go working across the aisle. Like the Jersey political landscape is heavily influenced by Democrats. How would you plan to reach across the aisle while maintaining your conservative principles?
So our Judeo-Christian foundation that America was based upon is my guide. It is the compass that I follow. So I can follow that compass and still reach across the aisle to make changes that we need, like funding from the bottom up. I have an initiative that I will put in force that will allow the unions to go into our schools and educate our children on what it is to be a union worker, what the benefits are, and some training as well. So we can use our schools as training grounds for these union trades. Just imagine our schools and how much money we could save if we have the unions training our kids to paint, to do trim work, to do roofing, we don't need to hire out as many contractors on our school rebuilds and refits because our students will be willing and capable of doing that.
That's a good point. They're actually going to do a renovation at my daughter's school too. That's a pretty good idea. You know, that shop class, but unions being involved, especially when they go through an apprenticeship and they get out of high school, they might have so many credits instead of doing a 5-year apprenticeship. You know, they might only have to do a 4-year if they learn that. But that's not a bad idea. I like it. So, all right, that's all the questions I have for you. Wrap up. But I want to take us into something that I call it the JSP Awards. We're going to go to the next segment. The JSP Awards is the Jersey Shore Patriot Award. We'll give that to somebody of the week, and then we also give someone Loser of the Week award. So we'll go to the next segment. I think we're going to play an ad and go to the next segment for America's Pulse Network, and then we'll go to the next segment after that, and we'll talk about the Patriot and the Loser.
Fighters take the stand from shore to shore. We reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
So, all right. So, tell me what you think about this. The Jersey Shore Patriot Award goes to Justin Barbera for taking a shot. The regular guy put his neck on the line and, and fighting for the people. That's all I'm giving it to this week. So you get the Jersey Shore Patriot Award.
Man, thank you. I really appreciate that.
I mean, I can't hand you anything. It's really just air, but it's
an honor, Damon. It really is an honor. And the more Patriots we have willing to stand up and make change that's going to benefit New Jersey, the stronger New Jersey will be.
You're right about that, man. I like when the little guys, the hard-working guys, the American guy, down to nitty-gritty family man, takes a shot and wants to make some changes. I mean, I like that a lot. So you received the JSP Award. I'm going to have to get some little stuff to hand out, and give mail it to people when I give it to them. And even the Loser of the Week Award, I don't know if they'll accept it if I send it to them. But so the Loser of the Week, I'm giving it to Vladimir Walensky. He's the Loser of the Week.
I was going to nominate him if you didn't.
Yeah, he screwed that one up big time. So, but yeah, man, listen, it was a pleasure having you on, man, and I appreciate it. And you can come on anytime you want. I've got a bunch of guests lined up for next month, but if you want to come back on again, so just tell everybody, where they can find you, your social media, how they can donate to your campaign, all that kind of stuff.
You could find me on TikTok, The Independent Patriot. You could find me on YouTube, Justin Barbera for Congress. And you can find me on Facebook. I have Jesus as my profile picture. Justin Barbera is my name. Barbera. It's a world-renowned name. It's been in every household for at least 100 years. And hopefully it'll be in New Jersey's top job very soon.
Yeah, everyone kept asking me if you're related to Gary Barbera from Philly. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know.
The bloodline's there.
I gotcha. So, but all right, well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Always remember, you can go on to my radio show, 92.1 W Cruising, 92.1 WVLT. That's every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. Our new podcast hours are going to be Mondays and Fridays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it's Jersey Shore under America's Pulse Network. We have multiple podcasters, Conservative Corners coming up, Alexander Levine Live will be coming up as well. They're all part of our podcast. And just make sure you come check us out. We'll be streaming on X, Facebook, True Social, all the main media outlets. Justin, thank you very much for coming on, and I'll see you again.
Thank you, Damon. And Thank you, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Stone cold hearts in the land of the free. Galvanized truth, just you and me. Freedom ain't cheap, gotta hold tight. In Jersey, sure we'll win this fight. No more tears, just righteous pride. In the streets, our spirits reside. Unity strong, we walk this line. One big voice, it's our time. Jersey, show we got the fight. Stand together through the night. America first, raising the flag. We ain't never gonna lag. No more tears, just righteous pride. In the streets, our spirits reside. Unity strong, we walk this line. One big voice, it's our time.